All right, for our first circuit today, we're going to be starting off with a power step. So we're going to have a step that's about knee height. You can use a box, you can stack some plates up, whatever you have is fine. Okay, we're going to start here. We're going to load our weight up into the front of our leg where you're going to have that floating heel more in our toes. We're going to jump up. Our arms are going with our body. So as we go up, our arms go up. As we come down, our arms come down. We're going to explode up. We're going to get 8 good reps here. So we're going to go up, and I'm keeping my weight in this front leg, pushing off. And sure, my back leg is going to hit, but I'm 90% pushing off here, trying to jump up as high as I can, control that landing. Not only am I pushing off hard here, I got to keep my core tight so my pelvis and spine don't move around and bleed power and then ache on us. Okay, so keep your core tight, your deep core tight, and hold that pelvis still as we jump up and push that leg. So we're going to do 8 on each side there, and then we'll have walking lunges. We're going to alternate. So we're going to go left. Remember, we always step out a little bit, about 5 degrees out to that side. Load that hip, come back up. Load the hip, nose over knee over toe, back up. Nose, knee, toe in a straight line, chest up. Don't let that upper back collapse. Try to keep your dumbbells or kettlebells wherever you're holding still. We're going to do 16 to 20 reps on the first set, and then I'm going to load up and try to get pretty heavy. So we're going to get 12 to 14 kind of reps at that point. So we're going to hold kettlebells or dumbbells, keep that core tight, and after we do these power steps, we're going to get 6 to 7 on each side. Try to go pretty heavy with those. 4 rounds there. Rest after your lunges. You need about 2 minutes before you get back into those power steps. From there, you're going to take a med ball right here. We're going to do side jumps. So the ball, the ball is going to follow our body. So when I'm jumping to the left, the ball follows, and I jump to the other side. Do a set or two trying to get used to this feel, really get the rhythm, and then turn up the volume by jumping far. And then pull that ball, rip the ball. Don't just bring it over here and have this nice step like this. You're gonna rip that ball through, squeeze it hard, big jump side to side. Also notice when I jump over, I'm trying to keep on just one foot, so I don't have 2 feet down ever. It's always just 1 foot. We're gonna do 6 to 8 on each side there. We come right here. I've got the cable. You can also get a band. What we want to have is direct line of force. I've got a box. You can also use a plate. It's a low box. We're going to stand on this. I'm holding the handle with my right hand. So my left leg is going to be the working leg. I'm going to do a hinge, just a nice RDL, and then scoot back up. I'm keeping everything in line, and all my movement happens at the hip. Notice how I'm not shifting all my body weight back here. I keep my shin and knee over that midfoot. My big toe is active. Nice and smooth reps. We're not trying to go faster, we're trying to go smooth. You won't bet 1,000 on that, obviously. Okay, so we have 10 each side there. We'll finish that set up with a bridge press. So we'll come here. We're going to be shoulder blades on the bottom of our shoulder blades on the edge of the bench. All right, we're going to bridge up, and we're going to have the dumbbell in each hand. We're going to press up and pull down. Press up and pull down. It's very important that we don't have any shifting or movement going on here in the core. So our core is active. Also want to be active with our legs, driving our hips up, and you can think kind of pushing the knees forward and pulling the heels back. Push, pull, push, pull. So we're not just dropping our arms. We're always active here, okay? So keep those hips up. We're gonna do 10 there. So that'll complete that round. We have the lateral jumps. We're doing 10 to 12 total reps. Remember, big jumps, pull that ball through. We have our single leg hinge. Okay, we're gonna get 10 each side. We want smooth reps. Nice, balanced, smooth reps. Be as smooth as you can, don't be fast. And let's push it, try to go pretty heavy on these bridge presses. You got 10 there. 4 rounds. Make sure you're getting a rest 2 minutes after. Okay, we're going old school, simple, not easy for the next circuit. We've got chin-ups and dips. So on our chin-up, here's what I want to show you how to do. Working that eccentric chin-up if you can't get them. We're trying to get 6 to 8 reps here. All right, so if you can knock out 6 to 8 reps in a nice, smooth, pretty fashion, do it. If you're struggling, you can't get as many as you can, and we're going to finish out with some eccentrics. And if you're struggling to get any at all, this is a great place to go. All right, so we're going to get a box or a bench or anything you can get and get up to your bar. It's best if you start with a neutral grip here. That's the easiest way to get it. It at first, I would try to start there. And we want to get long here, so we want to practice pulling from here. We're going to use our legs to assist, and we're going to just catch at the top. Now we're going to work on taking our elbows and our body away from each other, okay? So I'm always trying to separate my elbow and my torso here. Then we'll reset. I want to make sure I make it all the way down before I put my feet back on, okay? I want to be all the way extended before my feet come back on the box. You're going to think of each rep as its own whole universe. So reset, get yourself ready, and again, I'm pulling from my shoulder blade, they're going to pull down, my lats are going to pull, and I'm bringing my chest up, and I'm going to catch myself at the top, and then control. And get long all the way through the elbows and shoulders, and again, I'm trying to go elbow away from the body, and then elbow to the body. Okay, so 6 to 8 there. If you're working just the eccentrics, try to get 4 or 5. It can be pretty tedious. They'll wear you out. Make sure that you're taking your time on the way down. Don't just drop, don't fall. The whole point is to control that tempo. When we come over to dips, again, if you're strong on the dips, the thing I would look out for is making sure your shoulder doesn't dump. We don't want that shoulder to roll. We want that shoulder to pull back open and then close and come together, okay? So make sure you're not rolling. We're gonna try to get 8 to 10 reps here. If you are struggling with the dips, I'm gonna show you an option here. With the parallettes, you can do this on a regular dip bar by, again, getting boxes, getting a bench, getting plates, and building the floor up under you. If you have something like a parallette, you could put 2 benches together and go down. So you want to be here. We want to pull our elbows down, open that chest, and press out. Remember, our shoulders are moving backwards. Notice how that shoulder doesn't dump forward. It stays back, and I press forward. Open that chest, feel that stretch, press out. I'm using my legs to take a little bit of my body weight away. So it can be challenging sometimes if you're standing there and you're squatting up and down, because that's what your brain would naturally like to do, because that's the easiest way to go up and down. So if you're having trouble kind of getting it into your upper body, just for 1 second, take your feet off and then lightly replace and keep it in your arms. You'll feel it. As soon as you take those feet off, it's got to go into the upper body. So then you can lightly replace your feet, and you've kind of done it a backwards way. So that'll help you get in there. Again, make sure you're pulling those shoulder blades back. Again, we're going to try to get 8 to 10 reps here. You can work those eccentrics. You can work a little slow on the way down and press out. Make sure you fully extend. One thing I do want to point out and avoid, never ever do we want to have the dip performed like this on a bench. It's a very popular thing people do. We don't ever want to do this, because look what happens. The first thing we just talked about, dumping the shoulder. Everyone's shoulder dumps. It just happens. It's just what happens in this position when it's behind you. If you want to use a bench, get 2 benches and put them together like this, and you can, again, build the ground up, whatever you want to do, and do a dip like that. However, this is a really bad position, and what's even worse is when you start getting your body away, then you just turn into a mechanically disadvantaged disaster. So we always want to try to avoid that. We would rather do push-ups. If we can't have access to a dip that way, then maybe it's just not something you're doing at that moment. You can focus on push-ups. They're just as good. You can do great with that. So anyway, we're doing 4 rounds. Have fun with that. All right, so for our finisher, we're going to have an overhead carry. We're going to extend our arms over our head. We're going to keep your ribs back. Don't arch your back. If you feel that, a lot of pain in your back, make sure to try to pull those ribs back. May need to lighten the weight up. You don't need a lot of weight here, okay? 5-10 pounds can go a long way. And we're going to take nice, smooth steps. It's important that we keep moving forward. We don't want to step and pause, step and pause. I want to avoid that. Keep moving. And again, keep those ribs back. Try to reach those arms overhead. We're going to walk 50 to 100 yards. Then we're going to take some sort of slam implement. So I'm going to show you the RMT club here. It's a fun little toy that we have. It's like a giant Morocco. It's got beads in it, and it helps us work on deceleration. So we're going to do a sledgehammer chop, okay? One of the ways we use this is because in the winter here, we don't get outside with the sledgehammer as much. But if you're somewhere where it's warm, use the sledgehammer, take battle ropes, some sort of big chop action. And I love if you have to work on decelerating, like here, where I have to stop on my momentum. That's great for our core, really spikes that heart rate up. We're gonna look for about 20 to 30 seconds of super intense work, okay? We're gonna rest for about 2 minutes, We're gonna have our carry again, 50 to 100 yards, 20, 30 seconds of work. We got 4 rounds and that'll finish us out. Hope you have a great workout. Come see us in person if you can. Hit us up with any questions, comments. Appreciate you hanging out with us. Hope you have a great workout.